Hello and welcome to the Eclectic Kitchen. Today I'll be showing you how to make simple flour tortillas. Soft, flexible and incredibly flavorful, these are perfect for all your favorite fillings. I make these whenever I need tortillas, whether it's for lunch or a meal prep. They freeze well and can even be made a day in advance. For this recipe you're going to need 500 grams of all-purpose flour, 90 grams of lard, 6 grams of salt and baking powder and around a cup of hot water. To a large bowl, add the flour, salt and baking powder and give it a quick mix to evenly distribute the dry ingredients. Add the lard and using your fingers, start crumbling it into the flour mixture. You're aiming for a texture like damp sand, no large chunks of lard should remain. Next, pour in about 220 ml of hot water. If you're using boiling water, mix it with a wooden spoon. Very hot water tends to produce slightly softer tortillas, but warm tap water works perfectly well too. After a short mix, it should be cool enough to continue mixing by hand. Knead just until a dough forms and there's no dry flour left in the bowl. My dough looked a little dry at this stage, so I kneaded in about 2 tablespoons of water. Transfer the dough to a clean work surface and knead until it forms a nice smooth ball. This should take about 3 to 5 minutes depending on how much mixing you did in the bowl. It's a short knead, but if your hand tires, you can just cover the dough and continue a bit later. Once the dough is smooth, place it back into the bowl and cover it tightly with plastic wrap to prevent the surface from drying out and let it rest for about an hour. Once the dough has rested, it should be smooth and supple. Now, you could eyeball the dough pieces, but for evenly sized tortillas I really recommend using a scale. I aimed for about 70 grams per piece, which gave me 12 tortillas plus a little extra dough. Next, shape each dough piece into a ball. You can do this by rolling it between your hands or by pulling the edges toward the center and then rolling it seam side down on the counter until it's tight and round. You can place the dough balls on parchment paper or a tray, but I usually just pop them back into the bowl. They only really stick on very hot days when I don't roll them out quickly enough. To roll the tortillas, flatten a dough ball on a floured surface and roll it out, turning the dough 90 degrees after each roll. They don't have to be perfectly round, some imperfections give them a homey look, but I'll leave tips for rounder tortillas in the description. I like to keep some a bit thicker like this one for a chewier bite, but if you're making wraps, roll them out until they're thin enough to be almost see-through. You should just be able to make out the table underneath. Cook the tortillas on a preheated pan over medium-high to high heat. Cooking time will vary depending on your pan and stove, but you'll know it's time to flip when they get nice and bubbly. Flip and cook for another 10 to 15 seconds, then transfer to a kitchen towel to keep them warm and soft. And don't forget to bake any leftover scrap dough, that's a little snack for the chef. I'll be filling these with some delicious roasted chicken, veggies and a jalapeno yogurt sauce. I might have overfilled them a bit, but you know, overfilled tortillas are a good problem to have. Not leaking or breaking, those are the signs of a perfect tortilla. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and consider subscribing for more delicious recipes. Until next time, bon appétit!